everyone, welcome to our YouTube channel at Paradox Alpha. So guys, today with me are Amit Shah and Krishan Rupani. And today the agenda of this session is programming in Java. And for today's content, we would be just spinning the comment what today's topics we covered. So handing over to Krishan.
Okay, so hi everyone, and first of all, happy Janmashtami to all. So today we are going to discuss why you should be learning Java in 2020 when there is so much hype about Python and with them when everyone is talking about Python, AI, NML, IoT, blockchain. So why you should learn Java in this time? And second thing that we are going to cover is I'm going to give you a little bit of introduction about Java and how you can install Java in your machine. So, and third thing that we are going to talk about is object orientation part of Java and how you can create a basic object oriented code in your own system. And fourth and the last thing that we are going to talk about is I'm going to describe the program structure of Java and I'm going to explain you a little bit about standard input and standard output. So let's begin. And I hope you guys are excited as I am. But first of all, before starting, and I want you guys to tell me that can you use Java in AI and or AML or big data? Type in the comments, yes or no. Great, I'm seeing a lot of three responses over here. They're saying yes, 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 yes. That's right, Praveen. That's right, Prachi. That's right. You can use Java in for big data analysis, for AI and ML, for anything. Because what the biggest point, biggest advantage for Java is it has the community support. Java is the most demanded language in 2020, right? And followed by Python, followed by C Sharp, right? So Java has a great community and that community is growing very fast, right? So Java is introducing new libraries, new packages day by day. So that is the biggest advantage that Java has. So that's why Java is really interesting to learn, right? Plus you can create anything in Java, be it softwares, be it any web application, be it games, be it anything. You can create anything in Java. So that is the big and really great. That's really cool, right? Like because one program, you learn one programming language and you can create games and you can create web applications at the same time. You can create Android, right? So I find that very cool, right? So tell me, what do you want to be? Do you want to be a web application developer? Do you want to go into security? Because Java has really great security. In fact, Java has the most, it has the best security because it has certain APIs and packages which are effectively designed to improve security of any system, right? So and Java and also has Android and Kotlin and it has other functions as well, right? So Java is the future, right? Java is going to control the whole world in the whole tech world in next 10 years because Java is evolving very fast. And then we have its rival Python. I know most of us are divided into like these two categories. One is Java and another one is Python. We all know that, yes. So and there's this one thing. Now talking about advantages that Java has, well, first of all, the first and foremost advantage that Java has is that Java is platform independent. That is the biggest thing that Java was, first of all, important. Java was given importance because, like, what platform independence basically means is that whenever you have coded something, because in tech environment you're not the only one who is coding, who's working on certain projects, because like in college you might be coding on one project by yourself, but in real world there are about 50 people working on same project, so you need to collaborate together, right? So in order to collaborate better, Java is platform independent. So if you have run your code in suppose Windows OS, right? So you can share that file in Linux and it would run effectively there. You can share it in Android, it would run there as well. It would run in Mac OS, so it would run in any OS. It's platform independent, right? It can run in any device. So that is really a cool thing in Java, and that is the main thing that was the reason for uprise in Java, right? So and like Java was founded, and then the basic history is this, because Java was created for developers who are really passionate, who can create anything, and then you can collaborate better. So these were the initial reasons why Java really took off. Like one thing is success, second thing is exponential success, third thing is Java success, and fourth thing is Slack success, right? So in a Slack sorry Java just took off. Java just took off. So Oracle and a Byte Java, it was quite back, and now we have different versions of Java. We have GRE version 14, right, which was released recently. So that's a really cool thing, right? Java is developing it. It is platform independent. You can create anything in Java. It has great community support. And now, if we are talking about in terms of monetizing terms, right? Because we all aspire to be the best programmer who's earning a lot of money, because that is what college has fed us, and we are not fed us with and you need to solve problem. We are fed us with you need to get a good job interview, you need to do this and that and that, and based on that my company growing is there. So we basically solve this kind of problem only. We are focused on practical based learning, where we provide real world applications, and we have effective doubt solving methods, and there are many things, but we are not here for my promotion. We are here to teach you Java. Okay. So and I was talking about platform independence, right? So like let's let's see an example, right? Let me just share my screen, and let's see an example of how this particular thing work, how you can share files in Java, right? Let's right, right, my screen is sharing now. So I when I just start and I was coding. So and if you look here, there is this main class, there is this vehicle class, right? And there is this oops. That's the code. That's my source code, right? So what Java does is basically it has a code, right? But before no, forget about Java. Forget about Java for a second. You talk about in a C language or Python, or in a C sharp or C plus plus, any other language, right? So what other languages do is what they compile the code. You have a code, right? You the code is compiled, and then that code is converted into OS understandable language, right? Simple as that, right? But Java doesn't do that, right? An OS understandable language is zeros and ones by binary format, but Java doesn't do that. Java doesn't go the traditional way. What Java does is you have the code, then that code is converted into bytecode, right? A bytecode is then shared to other platforms, and if that platform has Java environment, then you can easily run that code without any issues, right? So you have this main class. This main class is that bytecode. This vehicle class, this vehicle class has bytecode, right? This is the bytecode. So you just share these classes, and then this classes can be run on any operating system, based if that operating system has Java environment. That is necessary, right? So this is an added advantage to Java, right? And then if we're comparing it to Python or any other language, any other interpreter language, Java is a compiler language, right? So being a compiler language, it is a little bit fast, and Python being an interpreter, it's a little bit slow. There's nothing wrong in that. I'm not partializing on. I'm not biased, but these are just basic facts, right? Now next thing, if you're talking about, is I was talking about security, right? You If we are looking for a career in terms of security, right, you need to go in banking, or you are just looking for a ethical hacker, right? So Java has really great security, right? Java The reason why Java has really great security is because your code isn't directly affecting the OS system, right? As I told earlier, Java actually converts the code into bytecode, and then that bytecode is shared, and that bytecode is converted into OS understandable language, right? So the code is and not directly interacting with OS. That makes Java even more secure. And then above that, we have APIs and we have other functionalities as well. So this was a little bit introduction about why you should learn Java and why is there need of Java in 2020, right? So if I talk about money terms, right, strictly talking about figures, a Java developer easily can earn about 4 lakh to 10 lakh per annum, and that's the basic beginner level, right? When you go to advanced level, you can earn even higher. So it is totally dependent about you, that how much you earn, and in different countries there this is the price varies, right? But in India this is the scenario, right? So this was the basic introduction about why you should learn Java. So if you have any issues, you can type in chat box. Okay, great. So now coming on to the next topic, that is introduction to Java, right? So like basic installation. So for running a Java code, you first of all need a place where you can code, right? So it can be a IDE, right? IntelliJ, Eclipse, or any other. Or and a second thing, if you don't prefer an IDE, then you can go for Notepad. Or if you don't prefer Notepad, you can go for Notepad plus plus, right? So there are many options, right? So in a Notepad plus plus, or any IDE, you need this thing first of all. So install these first thing, right? Where this is the place where you can code, right? Now you have written your code, but you need to run that code, right? So in order to run it, you need a Java environment, right? JRE, Java runtime environment. And previously, if in a previously you also needed to JDK and JRE separately, but now this is not the scene, right? So in a I would show you how you can basically download that in a JDK. Now you just need to download now you just need to download one Java development kit. It already consists of JRE, that's Java runtime environment, and you would be good to go, right? So let me just share my screen. Okay. Mhm. Yeah, great. So simply go to your Google and type Java download, right? And the first link is in a Java. You can go there, but prefer Java SE, and that's in the site is directly from Oracle. Just download the JDK. Here, choose according to your OS. Like for me, it's Windows, so I download the JDK over here. Then agree it, and you just download it, right? I'm not going to download it. I already have it. So, and now coming to just a second. Right, you have your Java environment there, and I have downloaded it, and you just now install it. Click on yes. So it says that I already have in a Java, so do I want to reinstall it? No, I don't want to reinstall it. I already have it. So just type yes, and install it. It's basic installation. It's not a rocket science, right? So and after you have installed it, you need to set the path, right? So first of all, go to your C drive, go to program files. In program files, and a search for Java, right? This is where your JDK has been installed, right? So remember, previously you needed JRE, that's Java runtime environment, and JDK separately. Now in JDK 14, you don't need in a separate, in a JRE and the JDK. JRE is already there for you. So just open this, and to set a path, go to bin, right? It would be the first thing that you see, the bin, right? Now copy this path, Control C, simple. Now in a search for en environment, right? And this edit the system environment variable would be there. Now you can just go to environmental variable, and you would see path over here, right? You click on edit. Okay, so in my path would be a little bit different because I have done something different, but let's try with this now. So basically you need to set a path. If you are not able to see path, then click on new, then I type path here, uh, and then copy paste it, the address over here, right? Make sure that path is capital P, right? So you just do that and click OK, right? And then click on OK. And if you are able to see the path, then click on edit, and then in edit you can add the link over there, right? This is basically telling your computer that okay, here is Java and here's there where you need to pick it, right? And click on OK, and then you would get Java, right? So but like, how do I make sure that my system has Java, right? So just go to command prompt and type let's say Java over here. Simply type Java. So in this, it is showing a whole lot of stuff, right? So that means that you have Java, right? This is the basic indication that you have a Java, right? Installed in your system. But one more thing that you can do is, which is much more sophisticated, you can type Java and version, Java hyphen version over here. Then it tells you that yes, your Java version is 14.0.2, that is the latest, and its release date is this, and okay. So these are all things, and as I told you, Java runtime environment is already there, so this is also great, right? So this is how you know that okay, my system has Java. If it is showing some kind of error, internal or external, then that means that your system does not have Java, right? So this is thing. uh, Let me just comment that link over to you. This is where that you can download it. I've sent that link in comment, so so that you can just copy paste it and download it. Okay. Okay, so this was how you can download Java and install Java in your system. So if you have any doubts, you can share. Okay, and Amit asks, sir, why Java takes a whole market or industry in technical field? Yes, and this is the same thing because in a say, while Java and Python both are quite old languages, but actually Java is Java has its own features. Those features, it has better security, it is platform independent, right? So these are because of these features, and old developers in the old times, they preferred Java. So that trend is still going on in the market. And if I talk about strictly in marketing terms, then Java basically has a little bit of edge because in AI, ML, Python. Why? Let's see why Python is used. For what reasons Python is used for data science analytics. Python is used for AI, ML. Python is used for a lot of other stuff, or a lot of the cool stuff which are now coming. They are not from old ages, right? And by old ages, I mean a decade back, not a century back. So they weren't a decade back, right? So these another Python, Java, and so they are just coming in, right? So that is sorry, the AI and ML part and the other part, they are just coming in. So that's why Python is and taking that attention. Python is gaining that attention, plus Python is really user friendly to learn. So that is why it's really easy and to learn Python. So that is also a great reason. So but Java is more secure. Java is better in performance. Java has added advantages, so that is why Java is taking up for the whole market in technical field. Plus you can do anything in Java, be it be it game development, be it design, be it Android app, be it web application. You can do anything in Java, right? So these are main reasons why Java is taking up the whole market. All right. So I see the command which someone has wrote is wrong. It's not Java. The spelling of version is wrong. So keep that in mind, because we can use, yeah, you can use BlueJ. I'm currently using IntelliJ. So I'm also show you how you can download IntelliJ. It's quite easy. It's open source technology. So you can I'm currently using, I'm going to teach through IntelliJ in this course. So if you don't have any ID, you can go for IntelliJ. IntelliJ is really great, actually. I'm not here for promotions, but IntelliJ is, I prefer IntelliJ because it's really user friendly, right? Okay, so do you guys can see my screen? Yes, you can. Okay. Yes, you can use NetBeans. Yes, you can use NetBeans. Right. Okay. So can I just type IntelliJ and not support system? Not support system. A few days back, my system got crashed, so that's why uh, IntelliJ wasn't working. So just go and type IntelliJ on Google and go on to the first link. It's from JetBrains. JetBrains is producing great amount of really nice compilers and IDEs. So that's really interesting, right? You can check out JetBrains. It's really amazing. For Python, they have PyCharm. For Ruby, they have also something. So, and it's really great, right? So simply just download it, click on download. Now you have two options, whether to download the ultimate or whether to download the community. For ultimate, you have to pay some price. There's 30 days of trial version, but for community it's free, right? And there's not some major differences. You can go and you can see the differences over here. Can't use Java script in community version. The database tools are not there in community versions, but I think the community version works fine, so go download that, right? And you can download the window and a .exe, or you can download the zip file. I mean, just download the exe. It works really good. No issues in that, right? Download it, install it. No rocket science again. So and just install it and start coding. Start having fun, right? So and this was one the basics how you can and run Java code, and this was just the basics of Java, right? So now I'm going to show you how you can uh, run Java code in command prompt. If you're not preferring any IDE, how you can run in command prompt. And second thing that I'm going to tell you is the basics of the object orientation, and we'll to move on to that, and also how you can run an IntelliJ, right? So and first of all, missions. Yeah. Now, and just type command prompt CMD. Just type CMD, and CMD opens up. Right. So in CMD, first of all, you have to write a code. Right. So go to Notepad. Right. In Notepad, I have a code over here, so I'm not going to write the whole code. I'm going to explain that code later, but don't worry for now. Right. Just this is my code for now. Right. And I have to save this code. So and first of all, save this code, and let's say I save it in Java. I have a folder Java code on desktop, so save it there, right? Name it. Let's name it. No, first of all, let's delete all content from that folder. We don't want to get confused. So delete everything from there, and okay, so save it, right? Save as, and let's type oops, because it's an object oriented code. So let's type oops dot java. Remember that dot java extension, right? For C you have dot C, for C, in a C++ you have dot CPP, right? For Python you have a dot py. So remember to write this extension over here and just save this code, right? And when you would open your folder, you will see that oops there's one code editor named as oops, right? So there we have, and just close the command notepad for now. Open your command prompt. Now on your command prompt, you need to say that okay, and computer is not going to know that where you have stored your file, right? So you need to show computer that okay, here my file is, right? So for that, we change folders and get into folders. We have a command that is cd, right? So type cd. Mine is in desktop, so desktop, right? And I'm into desktop, right? So if you saved your file in and local disk d, so you type that, right? So I have a folder name and a code, what java code, yeah. So type cd java code, that's my folder name. So it has entered into the folder name. Now type ls. Okay, no, no, sorry. ls command is for Linux. So for Linux, ls command means that it would list all the content that is present in that folder, right? There's no command in command prompt. ls is no command, right? So in order to now you have to run the code. So first of all, make sure that you again have Java runtime environment and JDK. And if you're installing JDK 14, then there is no need of Java runtime environment. JDK already consists of Java JRE, right? So and the first step is compile a code, right? So for that we have command java c, and then the name of the file. Name of the file is oops, right? So oops dot java, right? So this through this command we're going to run the code. Voila, no error, right? So and if there is an error, it would show right over here, right? Now and let's check out our code, right? Now you see here that there are two files automatically created. These are the byte files, right? So in you have to share these files in order to run them, right? So now what you do is, now you simply type java, right? And main. Now main, what main is basically the main class, and in which you have written your code, right? So in for my system it is main, right? For others is, and it's not dependent on the system, it's dependent on the developer. So I prefer main. If you prefer anything else, calculator or anything else, you just name the class, right? So if I type this, okay, so there is an error. Why is that error? So basically, yes, you're right, Java C file name. But remember to type .java, right? So there is some error shown. Why is that, right? So I think the error is in code. So let's open a code. Let's open it with Notepad, right? So I there is one package com.company, right? So what this package com.company is, it basically defines the main, right? And it is used only in IntelliJ IDE, right? So if you're coding in Eclipse or NetBeans, then this might give you an error. So you know be careful and remove this and save it again, and then again move to command prompt. Again you have to compile the code, because another code that you compiled previously and has an error, right? So compile the code java c, file name that is oops dot java, right? Code compiled successfully, right? And then you need to just run the main java.main. Voila, the code runs, and it has shown some data that it required, right? So, and if I have to run the same code in IntelliJ, right? So open your IntelliJ ID. Let's cross this, right? We are going to create our own project. Go to File, New Project, right? And yes, my version is 14. No, don't check any of this. Just click on Next. Create project template. Yes. Command line app. Yes. Next. Now can I give it a name and also choose a file location. So for I'm going to choose Java, right? Yes, Java is fine. Okay. And then I'm going to specify the name, right? Then a slash. What happened? Okay. So in yeah, and so project name. So you can name it anything. Let's say test, right? Test Java, right? And finish it. Okay, let's choose another location. This location is giving an error. Let's choose 1 second. Let's create a folder. Java test. Okay, finish. Right. So it's going to ask this window, yeah, this window. Right. Okay. So if you install it for the first time, it's going to ask you whether you want a dark theme or light theme. I'm being a programmer. I choose dark theme because it's soothing to my eyes, right? So you can choose according to your need, right? So when you open when this opens, so in Java test, there's going to be src, that's source code, then in com.company, then main. When you double click on main, if this main is not available here, if this main is not available here, then just go to Java test, then src, then com.company, then main, and then double click it. This code will appear, right? So this is basically the structure that IntelliJ gives you, right? So it gives you the basic structure, and then you start coding according to it. Now, one thing that IntelliJ ID users need to remember that the main class always needs to have the name main, right? You can't have main calculator or any different name. It's going to give you an error, right? That is why package com.company is defined, right? So package com.company needs to be there if you're using IntelliJ IDE, and you definitely need the name should be main, right? If these two things are not satisfied, then code is not going to run, and you're going to stuck full day and figuring out why my code is not running, right? And then you're going to complain about IntelliJ. So keep that in mind, right? So this is the basic installation, and this is how you run the code in in a command prompt. Now I said that I would show you how you can run code over here. So I need my code, right? I'm not going to write everything again and again. I just let's copy it from GitHub. So on my GitHub you can find everything like all my codes and all the codes in this course that I'm teaching, right? So you can go there. I'm going to send you the link pretty soon. Right? Need this. Yes, it has some errors. The simple spelling mistakes, and due to these spelling mistakes, sometimes we get stuck for days and days figuring out what's wrong. But IntelliJ gives you, or basically any IDE gives you, that the error that in this particular line there is an error. Command prompt also does that, but in terms of user interface, I prefer it. And simply when you have written this whole code, when you have written your first code, then you can just simply go to your top right corner, and there's some triangle. Just click it, run. Basically it would compile and run it automatically. Let's hide this. You see that the code is being run, and it shows the output, right? So this is how you know basically run any program in your Java, right? On IntelliJ or in command prompt. If you're using Eclipse, yeah, you can also do that the same over there. If you're using NetBeans, you can also do that, right? So and, now let's talk about object-oriented programming. But before that, do you guys have any issues? So tell me that. Java file name without extension is not going to work. It's not going to work. Is it possible to make OS with with Java? Yes, you can. Yes, you can definitely can. But and you know, and I don't prefer OS with Java. Uh, you can it's better that you use C language for creating an operating system, or C sharp or C plus plus. Not basically C sharp, but C plus plus and C. These languages better for OS. Okay, which is better, CCP, C++, or Java? I prefer Java. I prefer Java for many reasons. I just told, right? NetBeans, yes, you can use NetBeans. Okay, okay. If any other question, please ask. What I personally prefer, I prefer IDE, because the user interface over there is much better, and I basically get the error right over here. So and I just showed you that in the spelling of vehicle was not correct, right? So that spelling just pops up, right? Many times when you're using a code editor, a text editor, that then you forget it, right? So the I definitely prefer IDE. Okay, okay. So let's move to object oriented programming. But first of all, tell me, guys, are you enjoying the course? Come on, are you enjoying it? Are you learning new? Are you finding Java interesting? Oh yes, definitely, Harsh. And I'm gonna make you in a makeup project, right? And not one single project. I'm gonna make you so capable that you guys would make your own projects with full speed, man. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. Yes, yes, good, nice enthusiasm. All right, so and let's move to object-oriented part, right? So let's just and share my PPT with you guys. So like in this PPT is basically what I use in my own startup, growing, and where I teach coding. So this PPT is directly from there. So uh, basically Java is object oriented language. As I told earlier, Java is object oriented language, and it's not, I won't say it's 100% object oriented, but yes, and people do prefer Java in terms of object oriented programming. And I'm using this term object oriented, and you also have heard it many times. So why why does this object oriented, what does this mean, right? what what does object oriented actually means? So before understanding object oriented programming, you guys need to understand what was before object oriented, right? So before object oriented, there was procedural programming. Procedure programming basically is another simple method of programming where you divide the whole code into certain functions, right? So suppose you are developing a code for let's say vehicle, right? So for vehicle, you have different functions. So separate this whole code into different functions. And let's say the code is for car, right? So for a car, you have different functions, and that each function has its own data sets and its own variables, right? So when you need to use the use when you have to create another function, let's say a truck, right? So in truck, you would again need to define all those variables. You need to again define all, and you need to define everything again. Those data sets, those variables, and everything, right? So that becomes really overwhelming for you as well as for the computer. So that, and then now imagine that you are creating a program where you need 100 functions, and 50 functions are using the same variables and data sets. So but still you have to write all those 50 functions again and again, again and again, again and again, right? So just imagine how much overwhelming would it be for you. And if you are looking for that computational power, that computational power is also going to be huge in terms of, like, if you're using a i7, then that's not an issue. But if you're using an i5 or i3, then it's going to be really hectic for a computer as well to run the whole code, right? And if you're talking about Python, if you're not using Python and object oriented wise, right, if you're writing 50 functions in Python, then just imagine how much slow it would, after how much hours it would run. Ever talk about a real world example, and I was in my lab. uh, I remember it was my 12th class. It was my 12th class. I was sitting in my lab. I was coding there. One of my friend actually created, we were using this program. We were creating some program, and our teacher gave. So in that program, and my friend, what he did is, he didn't use object oriented programming. He just write it every program. He didn't knew object orientation at that time. But so when teacher came for grading, so that, my friend just run the code, and teacher was waiting over there, like, yeah, okay, you run your code first, and then I would check other students. And then the bell ring, and then there was a scold first, and then teacher marked him zero. So, I don't want that happen to you guys, right? So you are smart, you don't be Binod, uh, you do object oriented programming, right? So basically what object oriented programming does is it creates let me just change the slide. Okay, so an object orientation is combination of functions, right? So these functions have their own data variables and sets, and we call these functions methods, right? So, and in Java, you can, we have different libraries and so different methods. So basically, you need to call those methods before you need to use them, right? Then if you have used, and if you know Python a little bit, right? So we have a method known as math, right? If you know C, then we import a package called math IO, right? I don't remember C that much. So there is a package for math in C as well, in every in Python also, right? So object orientation just makes it better, right? So let me explain you with an example of a code, right? This is the same code that we have been running again and again and again. So uh, let me all right. So yeah, in this code, and basically, if you look, don't get scared, with the full coding part. I'm going to explain that in later. I'm going to explain that soon. Just basically look into this example. There is this class vehicle, and imagine it being a family, right? So in this family, there's the family name is vehicle, right? The surname is vehicle, and it has many members in the family. You have car in the family, you have truck, so car vehicle, and you have truck vehicle, you have scooty vehicle, you have different vehicles, right? So in I have these car, truck, they have same data sets. They have same data sets. They have same variables, right? So rather than explaining the program, explaining the computer that, okay, for car there is a variable top speed, and then for truck there is also a variable top speed. Both have same 80 kilometers per hour, and again typing, and making it really hectic for a computer to understand. But rather than doing that, Java offers you an object orientation, right? For that, you have used a class vehicle, right? For that, in that class vehicle, there is a variable top speed, and the top speed is integer type, and that is defined 80. Right, there is an acceleration as well, there is car and a color as well, so there are, you can play with it, you and depending upon the requirements you define the variables over there. And then in this main method where the code is being run, so in this main method you have a object, you created an object vehicle in a car, right, from vehicle. So vehicle is a family, and in that family there is a member car, and this is how you create object in Java, and I'm going to teach you that later, right? So this is the basic essence of object oriented programming, right? So when I run this code, I don't need to specify for truck, I don't need to specify acceleration again is 0, right? Actually I haven't specified anything for acceleration. Let's say acceleration equals to 6, let's assume 6, right? And then run it. So I don't have to specify that again and again. With and truck, I don't need to specify acceleration again. I don't need to specify top speed again. If they are same, I just created a class, and that class is passing the variables to these objects, right? So this is the basic essence of object-oriented programming, right? Now taking a real-world example again, this example is same what I just told you, right? So if you have any doubts in object-oriented programming, you can ask me. Mm. Yes, yes, definitely. I will be teaching functions in Java, definitely. Yeah, guys, the teaching methodology that we are using, and basically in at GrowEnd we have this whole feature of chat box. We have those whole feature of compiler. But over here, and what we are going to do is we have a WhatsApp group. So in that WhatsApp group, you can post any doubt at any time, and we would answer that doubt within few hours, and according to that. Right. So if you have any doubt while I'm teaching, you can ask me, or if you come up with any doubt while practicing at home, so you ask on WhatsApp group. So that's why another group has been created. Most of you are already joined in the group. If you haven't, Amit, please provide the group link in comment section and pin that comment. What are the doubts? Okay. But so can we understand the whole Java in just 6 sessions? Definitely not, Krish. Definitely not. Java is a sea. It's an ocean. You definitely can't understand in just 6 sessions. But I'm going to teach you all the basics. You're going to learn all the basics in 2 weeks. Don't take it as a 6 session class. Take it as a 2 week class. And that 2 week, you guys need to practice it, right? I'm just going to tell you the facts and the figures and how things are being run in Java. But you need to practice it. If I'm just the person who is speaking, I would take if I have to cover the whole course, right? Like in colleges, I would cover in 2 weeks. I would just take a session every day and night. But that's not the case. I need you guys to practice. So please be honest to yourself. That is why we have created this class alternatively, so that you can practice on your home. And guys, do one thing and upload your whatever you're doing, upload it on GitHub. GitHub is a really great platform to grow. So in order to find internships as well, GitHub, you can upload your GitHub, and when you go for any interview in GitHub and in any internship or in any in a job interview, and that GitHub profile is demanded, right? So make sure that you have a GitHub account, you know how to learn GitHub. And if you don't know how to, use GitHub or get a bash, you just tell me. I would arrange another course. Can we do that, Amit? Right, right, right. Okay. So, any other questions that we have? I hope, Grish, that you are satisfied. You are only going to learn the basics. You're not going to. I'm going to give you an essence of advance Java, but you need to apply that, and we would be discussing that even later. Do you recommend any other resources also, guys? Uh, you know, do practice on HackerRank. Do practice on HackerRank. HackerRank is a really great platform, and it's really great for competitive programming. Actually, the whole competitive programming is really great. So, and you go there, and I would be also sharing the PPTs over here. And in order to practice and learn, and HackerRank is the best. Let's take a challenge in ourselves, right? There is a challenge, 30 days to code, right? Take that challenge and complete it in 30 days. In whole 30 days you would learn most of the basic part of the coding, right? It's really awesome over there. Go. Yes, you would be learning, and that depends, right? Once that actually depends that if we have time or not, then we would be touching the GDBC concepts and JS concepts. But I would be definitely giving you essence of these concepts, right? And I would be preparing you so that you can practice it on yourself and you can implement it on your own. But we would, if for any reason we are not able to complete advanced Java in this lecture, in this course, then we are going to arrange another event for that, and we're going to teach a JDBC and everything there, right? So JDBC, JSP, multi-threading, there are many things in Java, right? There's not just JDBC, there's multi-threading as well. Multi-threading is really great for reducing the computational power that we have. Big programs, huge programs actually have this whole a lot of computational power. Like the code doesn't run for about an hour. I have seen that as well. So multi-threading actually really helps. Yes, definitely. Actually, that is what I'm going to hit, Krish. That's what I'm going to hit next. So, but before that, I want you guys to get comfortable with whatever I have taught right now. So, if I get a green signal, then we will move forward. Okay. So, if any other questions, please ask. So, can you? Yeah. Okay, so let's begin with the basic program structure, and this is going to be the last topic for today's lecture. So make sure that you are practicing well enough, and these codes are available for you on my GitHub. My GitHub will ID I'm going to provide this right now. So when you can find these codes on my GitHub and you can practice it, but just take it as reference. Do it yourself. Compile it, show some errors, get your head into the programming, right? That is when actually you start having fun with programming, right? And I actually began falling in love with programming when I actually got some bugs, right? So we all learn this way, right? Okay, so let's hit our final topic for today, and the basic. All right, I hope that you guys can see my screen. Okay, I got a question from Grish. What is difference between DS and algo? Basically, DS data structures and algorithm design. Basically, data structure is the place where you store your data, right? In simple layman term, I'm going to explain you right now. Array. This is basically arrays collection of same type of elements, right? For means in array you can only in one array you can only store an integer or a float or a character, right? You can't store float together with integer with character. You can do that in array. And then there is string. this is also a type of data structure. Then the main data structures that we are concerned with, and it is stack, there is queue, there is linked list, right? So these are in the basic data structures. This is used in storing data. While algorithm is basically how your code is designed, right? So and let's say that let's take a real world example, that suppose you you need to get, there's a problem that your book is kept in another room, right? And you're sitting in suppose room A, and your book is kept in room B. So in order to go and fetch your book, what you're going to do is, and the basic algorithm is how, first of all, start. So you would need to start, and second point would be get up from a desk. Third point would be go to the door of your room. Third, and then fourth would be open the door. Fifth would be get to the door and open, and sixth would be open that door from other room, and then get this, and this in this whole way, and step by step, this is how the algorithm would be. Algorithm is basic layman terms of English, right? Is basic English. And when you have to code, then you would code it with functions and libraries and all these things, right? So this is the basic difference between DS and algo. I've tried to explain it the best. So I hope that you understand, right? So if let's just erase this code, right? Let's just erase this. Let's have nothing over here, right? So now we have to create a first program in Java, right? So in order to create a first program in Java, and what is the first thing that we need? If you're using IntelliJ IDE, again, the package com.company, right? IntelliJ has this great feature that it already gives you suggestion. Most of IDs have this, but yeah, that's great. That is also another reason that I prefer IDE over text editor. So here we have this. Now, let's say I want to print hello world, right? Hello world. I want to print this, right? So in order to print this, like I have to tell the computer that okay, print this. So in a Python, you have a simple print command, but for Java, you have something different, right? So for that, we are going to make the program, and let's start coding. Let's start coding. I have defining a class over here. Mm, Remember that class is small c, it's not capital C. I wrote it by mistake. Class mean. Like I told you, for IntelliJ IDE users, you need to define the class main only, right? You can't define class anything else. It's going to show error. So then you need uh, so this is basically class, right? So in class you need a method, right? The method which is going to run. Class basically is nothing. Class is basically what's inside the class, that's going to matter, right? So let's declare a method. I would make it public, right? Now why public? What's public? Public is basically that it can be accessed by any member of any member outside this class, outside this method, right? So that's why I'm making it public. Now you have private also, you have protected also. For certain classes you would require private, right? You don't want data to be fetched from another class, so you would declare some variables for private over there, right? So and you I declared this public because I want it to be accessed by another elements from different classes, so public. Then I would say it static, right? What static means is that this code in a particular method is going to be called once, and it's going to be accessed once only, right? So this is what basically static means. A non-static method can only be called by reference of an object, right? A static method can be called with even without any class or object, right? So that's why I'm using static over here. Public, static, and a void. We have got this void. What is void? Basically void is a return type, right? So in a return type, what it means is another type of value that is going to return, right? There are few types. There's integer, there is character, right? So there is float. So and it is going to return void. Void means nothing. It's not going to return anything, right? Public static void. We have covered three parameters for now. Public static void. Now I'm going to define the name of this method, right? So name of this method is going to be main. Always remember name of the method would be main, because main is basically where the code would run, right? So that's why main is really important. And now again enclose it with parenthesis. I've enclosed it, and now I have created this method main. Now this main method would run, but what would it do when it's running, right? It needs to have something, right? So that's why and one more thing I missed it. I'm sorry, I missed it. And public static void main. Now it needs to have something declared inside, right? So that is why it would have string args and square brackets. Now, what this is, it is basically in Java, you get a string already defined in main, right? So, in a string is basically a collection of data, collection of different characters, right? And in this, the string name is args. Now, this square bracket, you can keep it, you can place it over here, you can place it over here. This doesn't matter, right? So, but make sure that your string is being declared, right? So this is how a string is declared. String square bracket args or whatever the name of the string is, right? So now we have perfectly created the method. Now we need to tell computer that in this method you need to print hello world. Now how are we going to print hello world, right? So for that in Java, the standard output procedure is system dot out dot print. There is print ln and there is print, right? So basically what print ln means is when it's going to print whatever is inside the bracket, then it's going to automatically switch the line, right? While print is not going to switch line. Let's try with print first, and then let's say hello world. Now and I notice one thing, that I have enclosed hello world into a quotes. Why? So, basically, and if I don't do that, see what happens. It shows an error, right? Because now computer thinks that hello world is an variable, and this variable hasn't been defined yet. So, a computer gets confused that please, yeah, tell me what you want, right? Computer is asking for what you want. Now, if you enclose it in equals, then it tells you that okay, and this is the statement that I need to print. This is just the statement. This is not a variable. This is nothing. This is just a statement which I need to print. So whatever would be inside this, it would get printed, right? So this is the basic structure. Now let's run this. Voila, it printed hello world, right? So this is how you got printing. But I said print ln and print. Let's try another. System dot out dot again print and my first program. Let's see what happens. It's compiling and it's running, right? You see that even there was no space between world and my, there's not even a space, right? So for that we use print ln. Right now let's see what happens. You see the code was compiled, and then it was in the next line. My first program was in the next line. Guys, see, look, you need to practice it yourself, right? I'm just going to show you. I'm going to practice it like on live sessions, but you need to practice it yourself, right? So print various weird kinds of stuff. Print it, do something, but do something, right? And so this is the way, right? But now let's talk about system.out, right? System.out.println. Let's talk about it. Now, what basically this system.out is, and but basically system.out system is it is an class, right? System.out is a class, and println is an object to this class, right? So this is basically how we declare an object, right? So this is how we print basic standard input output. Sorry, not input, standard output, right? Now I have to ask user something, right? And so in order to do that, we need to define a class, right? We need to import a package. First of all, we need to import package, right? And the package is import java dot util dot scanner. This is the name of the package in which the scanner class is being stored, right? So now I have to, and then I just erase this. Now I have to create a scanner object, right? So how I create how we create object. Basically in Java, how we create object is, first of all, the class name. The class name is scanner, right? Now the object name, let's say scan, and then it is system dot wait a second.
I think due to some network issue, has been disconnected. He will be returning with us shortly. Until then, if you have any questions, then you can ask.
Rishabh,
Yes.
you can take it over. Let's start. First of all, first question from think there is a one question. What is class mean? Basically, class is a structure where we can design a code, or for example, we can take like an as an animal kingdom. We have an inheritance structure, so where we can design basically a structure to do anything. For example, you are doing making any house or home, so you are first you are designing blueprint. So that called a class in a code language. So basically, class is a structure where we can code or we can design the whole program, or we can say there's a collection of everything where which we required in any code or any program. Another question, Keshav, what is JVM? Okay, Java Virtual Machine. So basically, we are saying that Java is a uh, I think platform independent. So what does make them a platform independent? So this is a basic thing, a virtual machine. We can create it in any OS and any operating system. I think question is back. So JVM is basically we can say that it is a virtual machine which helps the Java code to run in any platform. That's all. Question is back. So what question?
Yeah, hi, sorry, my net ran off, right? So we were talking about, yes, in a scanner class, right? So how to scan an object, right? In an object or maybe a variable, right? So because we need an input from user, right? We need to make our program Right. So we need to make a program interactive. So that's why we need an input from users. Right. So in order to define the scanner class, I have this is I have created a class an object of a class scanner. Right. So there is a class name scanner, and then there is an object scan. Right. So now what you have how we create a scanner object is
I think he's facing some internet issues again.
Keshav,
Hmm.
can you explain last question, please? Question?
yes, yes, yes.
There is an issue.
Yeah, I don't know what's router problem.
Okay.
Actually, you guys can see my screen now. Okay, cool. Okay, so I was explaining about the scanner object and scanner class. Again, this happened. Right. So in order to create a scanner object, you define a class. First of all, let's erase the code and write again. I don't want distraction again. Okay, so again the name of the class, that is scanner, and the name of object, that is scan. And now new, you write a keyword new. Keywords are basically in Java that is defined that are already defined in Java, right? So in a new, then the name would be basically scanner system dot in, right? So when you write this, and now obviously put semicolon. If you forget semicolon, then there's no point. So when you write this, so you have basically created an object of a scanner class scan. Now this object has its own functionalities which are already defined in a package utility in a dot scanner, right? So how you're going to use it? So in order to use it, and what you are going to do is, and first of all you're going to create a variable, right? So for a variable, let's say, and I type in an integer type variable a, right? So a, now in I need to order that okay, you have created a variable a, and that a needs to get scanned, right? So first of all create a variable a, then in next line you can do it in same line, or you can do it in a different line, that doesn't matter, right? So I have to tell that okay, there is the object scan, so tell it scan, right? Now I need to tell it that I have to scan a integer, right? So next, for that there is next int, right? So see in sessions you can get next int, right? So what this would do is it would store the value of which is being scanned, which is being given by user in the command prompt, and through that value you can pass it in the variable a, right? Now store करके उनकी क्या करेंगे, ठीक है? तो we need to create system dot out dot println, right? So system dot out dot print and a, right? And now I run this code. When I'm running this code, so and command prompt is wanting me input, let's say 20, and it printed out 20, right? So it's as simple as that. And basically this is the basics of scanning standard input output, right? So I want you guys to practice on your own, right? So but for you guys I have a short assignment, and this assignment is basically I'm going to give you this assignment every on every lecture, right? So this basically is for a company, Decilu Designs, which is also my company. So, and Decilu Designs needs you to create a customized message printing app. And it is in marketing company, so you need to print a customized in a message for different clients of our. Okay, so another message is hi, the name of the client, and first of all, the console should ask the name of the client, right? And then we have looked into your requirement, someone from our team, whatever. So you can find this right over here, right? There is no issue in that. In a this in a assignment question, I'm going to send you. Okay, I can't send it. It's really. I'm going to just send this message. So you have to get this message printed. You have to take the name as an input, right? For that, you would need to, take the input as character. In this program, I taught you how you can take input as in a integer. And a pro tip: don't use character; it's not going to work. Use string, right? You have to, take input from a string and then print it. So I guess this is all. And if you guys have any questions, please ask. Hello, are we there?
Question, I think they have no question other than feedback form link or attendance link.
Okay, so let's not make it a college. There's no attendance. You would be, and guys, you would be provided an excellence certificate based on your performance on assignments and on your final project. So keep that in mind. And again, I'm telling you, if you guys want us to, get to know that you have done the assignment, upload it on GitHub, and share the link in a group in the group, right? So yeah, there is one question. Can I switch between different data types and perform different mathematical operations? For no, in this you can't do. In Java, you can't do that. I think that you mean that you have created a variable a. First, you created it as float, then you stored integer value there. So no, no, you can't do that. In Python, you can do this because Python is an interpreter language, right? It reads the line and then it runs it, right? But in Java, it reads the whole code first and then it runs it. So in Java, you can't do that. Can you send the screenshot of program which you did in group? uh, Priya, this is on my GitHub. I have provided my GitHub link, and I'm uh, here also. Yeah, I'm also going to give the GitHub link in your group as well, so make sure that you are part of a group, and if any doubt arises in future in practicing, you ask me there, right? So guys, I want you to get struggling with coding, right? And most of you are from beginner stage, right? So make sure that you are programming well, make sure you're fighting those errors, make sure that you are doing it. This is just a start. We're going to create very big programs together, right? So feedback form link, I guess Amit has. Yes, and he has shared it, right? So Keshav, come back.
Yeah,
Yeah, so and I guess all doubts are solved, or there any?
sir, I have doubt in
Yes, yes,
functions.
yes, yes. Girish has a doubt about functions. Yes, you can ask me here. What is difference between print and return? See, basically what print does is, print shows the value, while shows the value in console, right? While what return does is it gives the value to back to the function, right? So let's say that you have created two different objects, right? Two different functions. In Java we call it methods. So if you have created two different methods, and in two different methods, suppose then this is the main method and this is the function that you are creating, the method, right? So in order to return the variable data from this function to your main function, main method, so in that you use return. But in order to print something, in order to show something to the console, you use system.out.println, right? Grish, I hope that your doubt is solved.
Someone has any other question?
Imagine you are building a Facebook clone, and a calls function most votes. Okay. Takes an integer array called vote per use as parameter, where each element in array represents the number of votes received by using which, sorry, so will you at an index. Yes, you're right, Krish. Yes, this is what basically in a return function does. No? Okay, let me explain it to you personally. Like this live session has gone for too long. It's about 1.30 minutes. So in a let's connect on WhatsApp. Let's connect on group, right? So that's why I've created the group. So I must appreciate the determination that you guys have. I mean, come on, like 1.30 minutes live session. Come on, guys, this is just amazing. Keshav, I hope that we're done.
Yeah, I think we are done for today.
Okay. I mean, just hats off to you guys. Matlab, we don't even attend our online lectures that much with that much
Yeah,
dedication.
with
With know, that's just great, guys. That is great. Thank you.
thank you all.